I think it's been a while. It's been like months. We didn't do any derby stuff. Any look back derby stuff you thought was good? I thought it was a weaker field this year than last year, especially like after the Belmont and the Preakness, and it was like the same results over and over. And then I forget which stakes race after that where it was like sovereignty against some of the Derby horses last year, and I think he won. Um, but yeah, it was some good racing, but I felt like the 3-year-old crop kind of showed that it was really weak, really top heavy, just like 3, 4 horses really. Did you have any good luck over the last few months?
I mean, I definitely haven't been playing um nearly as much. I played Saratoga, and I've been doing the turf pick threes at Keeneland, but I don't know, man. Horse racing's getting it's got to change a lot. The CAWs and stuff like I don't really feel like putting in the time to handicap.
Yeah, I see that a lot in the horizontal betting. Like, God, some of the payouts are just through the fucking basement.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some good thing like the $3 pick three, 15% takeouts are good, and some California tracks have like the late pick three. I don't really like playing California as much, so it's yeah. But even like Keeneland, like they're like there was a 50 to 1 over 49 to 1 exacta today in the second race or something like that. It was like the two longest shots on the board by like miles, and exacta paid like $280 to 1.
Wow.
And, like everyone was like freaking out. Like, yeah, it's just like if they don't change, like they just don't understand that it's unsustainable. It's just going to be computers playing against each other. People like there's people that just bet sports. Like I'll just bet football and. But I mean, I love horse racing, but it's nah. I haven't been like I've gotten a few emails like, why aren't you like posting stuff? That's like I'm just not betting. So
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely get you. Especially when like I'll take a week and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna kind of follow 2 or 3 days here and really handicap it and look at the track and everything, and then you get like halfway through the second day and there's not been a payout. There's over like the pick 4 and 5 don't even get to 4-digit payouts, and it's like, what it's not like some of those days it's not even all the chalk hitting. It's like some decent prices mixed in there, and it's just nothing at the end of the day. Yeah, so some of those
yeah,
pathetic exactas. I like to try to do the daily double, but a lot of times, but it's kind of like the exacta pull, you know, kind of a big takeout, and then a lot of CAWs flattening all the prices.
yeah, the exactas and stuff are crazy.
But I don't know. There's been some good racing. I'm looking forward to this weekend. We'll see how it goes. A lot of good horses, at least. The races themselves, I think, have been pretty good this year overall.
Yeah, I mean like the Saturdays is like Keeneland Saturday. Last Saturday was good.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's go. Race 6, 7 furlongs, Perryville Grade 3 for 3-year-olds. I see why Captain Cook's 6-5 here. Obviously, I don't know. Um, I'm gonna kind of try to go against him. I think I had on top the 3 Barnes 5-2 gets Jose back. Kind of an AB pattern horse. Changed up the distances a few times. Looked good at 7 furlongs, 2 back. Uh, in the Alan Jenkins Memorial. That was against Captain Cook. They finished just a length and a half behind Patch Adams, who was a good horse. I think he retired now. But yeah, I kind of, it's only a 6 horse field, so I see what's probably going to happen with the Bob Baffert horses, right? Like he's probably going to try to send Gaming as the horse, as the rabbit. Hope there's some kind of speed duel, and then Barnes finishes strong. That was kind of my, and then just Barnes on the rematch versus Captain Cook. He went really, uh, he ran on well in that race against Captain Cook. So yeah, it's only 6 horse race. I don't know if it's going to cook up any pace really, and you don't think Captain Cook's going to try to battle a pace. He can obviously sit a couple back if he needs to against this field. So yeah, I'm going to try to go with the Barnes horse. I see a case where maybe Gaming gets loose on the front end and finishes it. I don't know if he's got the speed at 7 furlongs to do that either, which is kind of my worry with the rabbit. The rabbit case, and if he gets scratched, if Gaming gets scratched, I might just single Captain Cook, honestly, because I don't know if there will be much pace that Captain Cook has to worry about at that point. So it'll be a good little race, but yeah, I'm not 100% with my pick here going against Captain Cook. Who did you have?
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting race. I mean, only 6 horse field is annoying. I kind of disagree. I do think there's actually some pace. I mean, I think the 2 has to go. Um, I think you're right on. They're probably gonna send Gaming, but I also think Gaming could get a nice little pocket trip if they don't. I mean, Gaming's probably the only horse that I'm interested in as a price, but I do like Barnes too. I think the 2 Baffert horses are alive. Barnes just too far back last time. Probably needs a little longer distance. 7 furlongs is probably better, and I think with the pace, I don't know. I don't. Captain Cook did run huge last time, but I don't think that's necessarily the thing he's going to repeat, and I definitely don't want to take him at a short price. He's never won a graded stakes. Um, so just he's coughed up the lead in the max field. I don't know. I just don't with some serious. I mean, he was 20-1 last time, and he ran in front of Barnes, but um, Barnes I think had a worse trip. So, and I think the 6 is a dead scent horse. I don't.
Yeah.
Um, that horse has speed, so I think there definitely will be pace. So that's why I definitely think Barnes is good. But I do think that I would give Gaming a shot. I mean, the turn back at distance, this horse, um, you know, broke his maiden, then won the Del Mar Futurity. So, and then second in the juvenile, stretching out. So finally cutting back to 7 furlongs for the first time since the Futurity, which one of his best races. So he's got the talent, and he might just get a good trip. And that inside pocket at Keeneland is kind of where you want to be on dirt typically. So, um, yeah, I like the Baffert horses, 1 and 3.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. If they do keep Gaming in there, I might just do the 1-3 on the horizontal bets and leave it at that. Try to get hopefully the longer shot Gaming in there, because yeah, definitely get the case. He's got the talent. He's just as good as some of these other horses. So hopefully they try to do that. Even if they don't, I think Gaming could come just off the pace a little bit. I mean, he's done it before. Did it at 7 furlongs last year at Del Mar. That was a grade 1. Beat Citizen Bull there, and then lost to Citizen Bull in his last one. That was kind of an anomaly, I guess, that performance. But yeah, 1 and 3, I think we're both eyeing those. They'll probably take a lot more money than these morning lines too.
Yeah, 8-1's no shot. It's gonna be more like 4-1, but
4-1, and then like Captain Cook and Barnes almost even money.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I probably agree with that.
Hopefully we hit Gaming and we move on to the 7th race. 6 furlongs. This is a maiden. I feel like I've This is for 2-year-olds, so my least favorite type of maiden race. But I think I've kind of got a better handle on maiden races this year now. Um, so I do like handicapping them now. You go ahead and open this one if you don't know, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously difficult race, just first time starters, and just yeah, there's a really difficult 2-year-old first time starters, but definitely I like to see two things. I mean, obviously you want to see fast works, and I like to see the fast works from the gate. I don't put as much credence into the bullets um, from without the from not from the gate, and also um, especially if they don't have any good works really from the gate at all. That's always a not a good sign on a first time starter. I mean, I do think the 8 Solemn Val, the 3-1 morning line favorite, is a good horse to play against. So if you do have a strong opinion, uh, or it's a chaos race, I think it's a horse you can kind of chuck and hope that you can maybe catch in a price with an opinion. Because definitely, I mean, definitely the one to beat with the fastest race last time, but this horse was all alone on the lead and got caught easy, setting a slow pace with the 2.5 length advantage in the stretch. That's a horse I definitely like playing against. So the horses I like that works better. I like the 2 Stay in Tune, 12-1, Jose for Asmussen. Just I like that really fast work on the Tapeta at Turfway from the gate, 59-1 is um, is a very good sign, and I think it's a little sneaky shipping in from Turfway. And then the 4 Glow of a Rose, Wesley Ward at Keeneland, I think has the best work tab of any of the first time starters. Pretty much always fires. Um, so I think that one is probably the horse I'd put on top. But I like the 2, and then even the 1 doesn't have a fast gate work like I talked about, but does have some decent work. So, but I'd say the 2 and the 4 probably my plays.
Yeah, I had the 4 on top for the reasons you said. Wesley Ward, first time starter, debut maiden, special weight, good workouts at Keeneland. Love to see that. Like the 2 for all the reasons you said. Yeah, I like that. I was looking at the 1 a little bit too. Obviously, for the price, the difference between the 1 and the 2, I like the 2 more. He did put out that 48-1 from the gate into September. So I mean, he's got just as good as a lot of these other horses. I'll mention as my price bomb, um, the 11, um, summer date. I think there's a lot of talent in this race. For maidens, I get the reasons for Solemn Vow, and I get the reasons against all the reasons you said. Just couldn't hold on to that slow pace, which you hate to see. But that was kind of a key race. You look at a lot of those other horses in that race, and they came back better or won their next race. A couple came back at Keeneland and did pretty well. So I get the argument. I'm just gonna try to go against her for 3-1. So I had the 11 gets Junior Alvarado. Um, Good workouts. Had a good workout from the gate at Keeneland. Dam has 7 starters, 4 winners, 1 stakes winner. So if I'm getting 30-1 on that horse, I just had to put him on there because I think she's just as good as
Yeah.
a lot of these other underlay horses here.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Looking again, that one's works. It's just gonna get ignored because of the trainer, but especially in these 2-year-old races, if the horse can run, um, that's the biggest key. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
and
definitely like the 11, and then I'll also mention the 12 just because I like the 2, and whenever the same trainer has another first time starter in the race, I always get leery of only using one and not the other because I've just seen it burn me too many
yeah,
times. And that one does have some decent works. So
Yeah, I agree. That was another one I was looking to include. I'll probably end up spreading fairly deep here. But yeah, Robert Medina, and then you gotta imagine Junior Alvarado. If he's teaming up there with Robert Medina, he likes what he sees from this horse too. He's 2-7 this meet as well, and then his in the money stats for first time starters and debut made in special weight aren't terrible. So definitely got a shot. Definitely live, just like a couple of these other ones. We'll go on to the first turf race of this pick 5, mile on the 16th, allowance, no winners of 3. This was a cool race. I like that this is Uskers in this race. I hope they don't scratch him. I think that kind of should make the the odds on a lot of these horses stay in a nice range, a nice playable range. I went on top though with Greenlight, coming off of a Kentucky Downs race, kind of wide, just sitting a little stalk and trip behind a slow pace, and just kind of puttered out in the stretch. Some horses just don't really take to the Kentucky Downs racetrack, obviously, so I'm kind of scratching that up to that performance. Speed figures well, hard to hold against just for it being Kentucky Downs. Only the 4th race of the year for Greenlight. 2-2 in the money at Cleveland, 5-6 in the money at the distance, and then that last Keeneland race to end the year last year was crazy good. It was obviously a lower class race, but just overcame a terrible start and had a way out of the clouds performance. Came back this year, was looking good, improving speed figures, and then had the Kentucky Downs performance. So I think it's a good spot for Greenlight here. Put out some good workouts between that last race and this one now. A nice comeback spot. Has faced a few of the horses in this race and before, and won, or not won, but looked equally as good as some of these horses. So I had Greenlight on top. Uh, yeah, Jose Ortiz, Rodolphe Brissett. Who did you have here?
Um, yeah, I mean, Greenlight's definitely one that I'll be using. I do think he's probably got the most talent in the field. Um, so yeah, I have four horses written down that I'm gonna use. The Greenlight was one of them, so I won't really repeat that. I like the one Theismann 8-1. Saez, not a lot of ton of speed, gets good rail draw. Most of these horses are kind of looking to come back to form, much like uh, Greenlight uh, is kind of your hoping that that Kentucky Downs race was just kind of a fluke, which I kind of agree with, but it can that can be dangerous on trying to rely on that horse to win. This horse is improving, steps up in class, but has early speed. Size will be aggressive. Probably get a nice trip, either in the pocket, right behind the leaders, or on the lead. Um, I mean, I do think if this is Usker goes, that'll be a little bit of pace, but there won't be much contention. So the Heisman should get a good trip at 8-1. Um, the 4 Ion Rye 15-1 is a one I kind of like at that big price. I usually hate California shippers on turf coming to Keeneland, but this is kind of like a hard luck horse that has just gotten terrible trips in California. Um, was won at 27-1 one race. Um, after, but this one I just have I just last winter spring at Saratoga or at Del Mar and the California racing, I just had so many trip notes on this horse. So, and if you look at the rider, Smith Espinosa only Rispoli once. Um, so he's had terrible turf riders pretty much his whole time in California. So it gets a decent post, the 4. New trainer, small barn, but a very good barn. Wins off the layoff. Um, yeah, and I don't think this is the strongest field, so I do think the 4 is live. off the layoff and first off the claim. And then the other one I liked, uh, or another one I like at a price I think has maybe a shot is the number 8 Inkster. Um, has some pretty good numbers on the synthetic, um, and then comes off a 2-year layoff this year into this new barn. Only 96 starters, 17% barn with a positive ROI, so another small barn. Um, but a capable one. The trainers 1 for 2 at the meet. Won last time at 27-1 at Ellis Park. Now it comes to Keeneland, and it's that race kind of looks like it comes out of nowhere, but it's run well on turf and synthetic in the past, and making its third start off a 2-year layoff. I don't think that last race was a fluke. I think it's a horse that has talent, and finally rounded into form, second off the layoff for a new trainer. So um, I think the Minkster has a shot at double-digit odds too.
Yeah, that was a good race at Ellis Park. Um, I felt like it kind of set up for the Minkster a little bit, and then Clyde's got a gun galloped out nicely. It was a faster pace, but I forget which horse it was went way out in front, and then it was the Minx or some other horse, and then the Minkster sitting right there. But yeah, improving. That's the 1 and the 8 are both very lightly raced older horses. The Minkster only 12 starts, 6 years old. Theismann the 1, 8 starts, 5 years old, and he didn't race at all as a 2 or a 3 year old. It looks like, just judging by his work tab. So that's kind of interesting. Um, Looking back at it now, especially because my other pick that I had underneath is Multitask the 10. Just a good finisher. Should sit just stalking trip, not too far back off of this pace. That last one out at Kentucky Downs, just no one was beating Laganos that day, and it's one of those. Sometimes I just can't hold a Kentucky Downs race against a horse. It's like the speed figure still came back pretty good in that race. Laganos was just a beast there. So, but yeah, my 2 horses were 4-year-olds, and then you picked the 2 older horses that haven't really ran much until recently. So that's an interesting race and an interesting angle that I have to look at a little bit more. I was really looking at the 1, but I'm gonna have to go back and do just like a Trek bias analysis the last few weeks at Keeneland, just kind of a little review, because if there is any kind of forward bias on the turf right now, I really do like the 1. Yeah, that's a really interesting tab of races where he didn't run at all until he was 4, ran twice as a 4-year-old, and then came back kind of a different horse as a 5-year-old. So he might just be a late bloomer that's kind of set to take this one, looking at it. But yeah, there's some cool horses in this one. You can make a couple different cases. I was close to getting 911 Turbo. I thought I'm always on this horse, but now they changed up the running style, sitting back in the pack. They've got Joel on him for this race, so yeah, I couldn't take that in an outside post 6-1. But all the other horses, I think you can make a good case for him.
Yeah, that's my only issue with the 10-11. They'll both be running late. Both have strong late kicks. I just don't see how they get the setup and trips from the outside.
Yeah.
Deep closers, I don't think. I mean, Genius Jimmy will probably go. And the 1 will be forwardly placed.
This is Usker as well, but yeah, I don't know what his
Yeah,
turf is going
and
to look
Usker
like.
could yeah, and yeah, who knows if yeah, but I don't think any of them are going to be like dueling. Like 1 and the 3 can easily sit in second and let that other horse run off or whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know any. I was looking at a lot of these horses. I don't know any other wrap up thoughts for it. Honestly, it was you can make an argument for like half of these horses, and I would believe you. But this, I am gonna try to. I'll probably
Yeah,
go.
I mean, there's other horses like yeah, I was gonna say yeah, there's plenty of other horses that have chances. But I just think their underlays like the 5, 7, they can definitely win. I don't think they're that good, and they're kind of short odds.
Siege of Boston is like 911 Turbo, where I see why they should be a pretty good horse, and I just can never. They never win when you. Well, you look back at both of their tabs, and they just haven't really won in a while, and I don't know what they need to win. And I see better horses than them in this race, I think, or at least a better setup trips than what they're probably going to get. Let's go on to the Phillies 7 furlongs race 9 Raven Run G2. This one I felt had a wider possible results than the 7 furlongs for the Colts. Obviously, it's a bigger field, so you can look at this setup a lot of different ways. What did you have here, if you don't mind opening up?
Yeah, I think this is definitely a good race. Thought it was pretty difficult. I mean, I think 7 is a little bit of an interesting horse, but with Usha coming over, they both have a lot of speed. Um, I mean, I don't know. I think Ragtime is the horse to beat. Um, I mean, a filly that runs those late pace figures, only beaten a neck one time trying to close into a very slow pace. I just love a horse that could finish like that on dirt, and so I definitely think the 9 is the one to beat. I'm not sure the price. Outside has shown talent, but I don't really like that horse cutting back off a long layoff. Um, I just don't. I just think that's a lot to ask. So I landed on the 9, and then if there was an upset chance, I think it would be the 10. Some really fast works at Santa Anita. Um, Won Rendezvous, then stretched out the slop, won that race. Then goes to a grade 2 on faster routing, just misses, but was really game in a duel with Quiet Side in that race. And then the Kentucky Oaks kind of ran up the track, but just the way this one's working, she definitely is very fast, has a lot of talent, and I just prefer that horse. It's kind of like maybe the one that really improved from last year, and if she did, she's probably the one that can maybe beat Ragtime, but um, I don't know. I don't really love the Baffert horse. Any horse, I mean, it definitely ran the biggest number last time, but if you go 0 for 3 in the Baffert barn, and then it's just a weird. You don't really see talented Baffert horses, have take so long to get the maiden. Then as a 3-year-old, she's run 2 huge races, but um, shipping to Keeneland, I'm not so sure, especially at a short price. So I'd go 9 and then 10 is the upset chance.
Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I also went against the 9. Not as far as what I'm gonna bet to win and that kind of thing. I am go against the 9. I might include her in the horizontal bets just because she is the horse to beat here, and the race probably will set up for her. There should be a little bit of pace here. I had on top the 8 Usher Bob Baffert horse. I get some of the ticks against her. I kind of took the trainer swap back to Bob Baffert, like just kind of a 2 year old that wasn't developed, and then as a 3 year old is reaching form maybe, and it just kind of coincided with the owners, swapping it from Baffert to John Terranova. Who knows why they brought it across the country there? I thought they just weren't seeing what they wanted, and then they still weren't seeing what they wanted, so they went back, and it just coincided maybe with the horse coming into form physically. Those two races were with Lasix though, so coming back off Lasix, yeah, it's a little iffy pick, especially at 9-2. But I liked what I saw out of those races. That last one after the maiden was just a runaway win. Looked really sharp. I had this the 10 as my second horse for all the reasons you said. I don't like that she's getting Frankie Dettori here. He just has not been good, especially in these stakes sprint races. I mean, anything on dirt stake race, he just is not showing up at all. That was my one worry for Simply Joking, because I think she is talented enough. Cuts back to 7 furlongs here, seemed to really look good at a mile on the 16th. Yeah, the Frankie mount worries me a little bit. Third place I had Strong State coming back. Just finished 2.25 lengths off Ragtime last time. They both finished into a slow pace there. Strong State was further back and then went super wide into the stretch. I think James Graham lost control for just a second because she went like five lanes wider than any other horse, and then still ran on pretty strong behind Ragtime. So if there's some trouble up front, Ragtime gets stuck and Strong State gets a better trip, lucks out. I think 15-1's a pretty good shot for a horse that just won against some of these other ones. Delightful Claire just ran 2.25 back from Ragtime. So if I'm gonna go against Ragtime, I'm gonna include Strong State in that one as well. And then I think there's a couple interesting horses underneath, but I probably won't. I won't get to those right now. I thought Vixen. I'll mention Vixen. I don't think she's gonna win this race, but it's super interesting the class of horses she's been racing against on turf, and then for Mark Casse to team up with Tyler here to think she's got a chance for a graded stakes on dirt. We'll see how she goes. If they include her on dirt or keep her on dirt, I'll definitely be interested in her more throughout the year. But that's a horse I want to keep my eye on for this race, definitely.
Yeah, no, I like the 3 too. I'll definitely be using that horse, maybe as a backup in some way, because just the price, and ran huge at Saratoga. Just looks like one that's really improved as a 3-year-old. Wins off the layoff, wins a really fast race at Saratoga. Then it's a pretty tough trip, and still ran a really good second behind Ragtime, who I like. So gets blinkers too, so might be a little bit more forwardly placed. That 3 I do like.
Yeah, the improving late speed figure this last race is comparable with any of these horses on their best days, so kind of depends on the trip. And then what I was going to say, oh yeah, the 12 vodka with the twist. I thought this would be the race for this horse. I really like this horse, but coming from the 12 post, I think it's just going to be too much with some of the better talent on her inside that she's going to have to beat to the front or possibly get hung out wide. So another horse that I'm going to keep an eye on after this race, but probably not include in any of my bets here. We'll finish her up now. Race 10, into the pick 5 mile on the turf. Back to the turf for Maidens Fillies. Another 2-year-old maiden race. This one I thought was not as the other one. I thought it was a lot of cool talent coming up the other maiden race, and it made it hard to really draw the line between a lot of these horses. This one, not as much talent, harder for me to see the talent, which horse I think is going to step up or whatnot. Backgammon the 7, I'm going to try to go against her here. The speed figures aren't amazing. Came in 3rd in a Kentucky Downs race last, which those Kentucky Downs maidens races, you don't know the talent level sometimes. It's hard for me to really get a grip on that. And then the speed figure was also not good, which, like I said, I can't hold a Kentucky Downs race against a horse, but if the speed figure is just that low, it makes me question the class overall. But I'll go on top. I had the 5, Angelic Kate. Gets Ben Curtis here. Stretching out a little bit off of 6.5 Kentucky Downs race. Could use the distance, I think. Looked like a horse that could use the distance. Was super wide, that Kentucky Downs race as well. Like 7 wide most of that trip. And then came wide into the stretch and made a little bit of ground, which anything you can finish looking good after a wide trip at Kentucky Downs is that, and Turfway Park, wide trips into the stretch and you finish well. That tells me like you've got some game. So I like that from Angelic Kate. 6 starters from the Dame, 4 winners, 1 stakes winner, 2 turf winners. Yeah, I like this horse for their second race here of their career. Who did you go with?
Yeah. I thought this race was really difficult. It kind of sucks because I like the two other turf races in the turf pick 3, and then this one kind of ends it. And I think this one's a lot tougher. But yeah, I like your 5, Angelic Katie. I landed on the 8. You know, took money in the debut at Kentucky Downs. I didn't run it didn't run it as good as Angelic Katie, but yeah, again, I don't really like those even a nice little even running line sprint stretching out first time. I really like gets blinkers. If the mark get better on debut, she probably has a little bit of more ability. Really bred for the turf. So I think that horse, I think both of those, the 6 and the 8, stretching out off those Kentucky Downs races, have a lot of upside. Or the 5 and the 8, and then for the first time starters, I mean, the 1 it's kind of, I'm not really sure why that horse is 4-1, but Jose has been, when you've been riding for McPeak, there's usually live, and that one gets a nice rail draw, bred for the turf. The 2, Safi Gaffney, bred for the turf. So those are 2 that make sense. I don't necessarily like using those horses because the barns, um, although they're good barns, debut turf is not what they do best. So I don't really like taking short prices. But in a field like this where there just isn't really a lot to like, I agree. I will not be using the 7 at all. I'll definitely try and beat that horse as the favorite. But 6 and 8, and then 1 bomb, the 9, Unlikely Queen, has had 2 starts. I mean, kind of pressed the pace and ran off. Didn't run well in the second start, going to a mile, but has 2 races under her belt. When a lot of these are first time starters or second time, so have some fitness third time. Gets blinkers off. This trainer, 31% with blinkers off this year with a pretty big sample size, 36 starters with the plus 0.83 ROI. So that one's a bomb that I think just might improve with fitness, and who knows how weak this group is. So
Yeah, I was looking at the 9-bit too, improving speed figures. I like that. Blinker off, interestingly. Yeah, I'll try to get to her. I will say for the 8, just visually, I think that Kentucky Downs race might have been like the classiest one of all the Kentucky Downs races that these horses have run. Lit Ship looked legit in that. So that's definitely a little plus. Definitely puts the 8 above like the 7 for me. Underneath, I'll mention the 3 Maverick Queen is kind of my second choice. Also has 2 races under the belt, but the last race just kind of, I don't really know what happened. It was weird if you watch the replay. They're just getting right to the second call, and Jaime Torres just kind of drops off the horse. I don't really see that the horse misstepped or anything. Too wide, chasing the slow pace there, and was pushing hard like she was reared up to go into the stretch. And then if you 2 back, finish well into a really slow pace at Ellis Park. That was at a mile as well. So I think that horse deserved the second look in my opinion. 6-1 I don't love because I can't see the differentiating factor really with her versus a lot of these horses. Just looking at the last few races, I thought she looked like she was going to win that last race, which up front on a slow pace, maybe not an upgrade or anything, but I had to give her a chance as well. Especially if I can get anything close to 6-1, 5-1 worth including. But yeah, those and then the 9 you mentioned were really the only horses I was super interested in here. The 1 Kenneth McPeak horse, not interested at 4-1 honestly. So yeah, hopefully it's one of these bombs we mentioned and we get a decent payout here.
Yeah, I agree with the 3.
Also, good workouts at Turfway.
Fastest late pace figure on turf is. Yeah, no, I think that horse is gonna run pretty big.
Yeah, and that's an angle I love is like she's labeled as an S horse, so other people handicapping that are already, doing something with that. But for me, if you just look at the running lines, and she was pressing the pace last time, so she's not going to be too far back. I don't think she's definitely live here. All right, that does it for the late pick 5 this Saturday at Keeneland. Anything else you want to mention? Any other picks or any horse racing banter or anything you want to plug? I know we were saying we've both been a little away, but anything you want to drop?
No, not really. I mean, still, I might post on Saturday and bet on Iron Bets. Look at the links on there, but yeah, maybe I'll post on for Saturday for this, but I haven't really looked at any other the races than the later races. So that's it for me.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being on this, Conductor.